Hello dear students, welcome back to the class. We were doing our chapter number 6, the study of hydrogen gas or the study of first element hydrogen. In the yesterday's video we have discussed the impurities present in the hydrogen. Those were phosphine, arsine, hydrogen sulfide, water vapors, sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide. So today we shall discuss how can we purify the hydrogen. Impurities can be removed from hydrogen by passing it through. First step is silver nitrate solution. When we pass the impure hydrogen gas through silver nitrate solution, this is silver nitrate solution taken in the flask. When we pass the impure gas through this one solution, the impurities like phosphine and arsine are removed at this step. So these impurities are still left here. In the next step we add lead nitrate solution. When we add lead nitrate solution, the impurities such as hydrogen sulfide are removed. So in the next step we are left with the impurities carbon dioxide, water vapors and sulfur dioxide. So in the next step we add caustic potash. Caustic potash eliminates the impurities such as sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide and oxides of nitrogen. So at this step these impurities are removed. So in the next step, in this U-shaped tube we have taken anhydrous calcium chloride. Anhydrous calcium chloride acts as a drying agent and it removes the water vapors that are present in the gas. Hence pure hydrogen gas is obtained at the final step. So this is how we can purify the impure hydrogen gas and we can obtain the pure hydrogen gas. So in this case, one thing that is to be noticed is that we have used anhydrous calcium chloride as a drying agent. We have not used concentrated sulfuric acid. Concentrated sulfuric acid is now a very good drying agent, but we have not used it because it does the oxidation of the hydrogen gas which defeats the purpose of the reaction. So this was all about the purification of hydrogen gas. There are reactions written in your book. You have to write these reactions and draw this diagram if the question comes for the purity of the hydrogen gas. Next, here are some precautions that are to be taken. First one is the apparatus should be airtight. As hydrogen reacts with air, therefore the apparatus should be airtight. There should be no flame burning near the apparatus. As hydrogen is highly combustible gas, it catches fire, so there should be no flame near the apparatus. And one more thing that is to be noticed, we have not used nitric acid. Nitric acid formula is HNO3 for the oxidation. Nitric acid even in the dilute form is not used in the preparation of hydrogen. In the previous lecture we have discussed the preparation of hydrogen gas by dilute hydrochloric acid and sulfuric acid, but not by nitric acid because it is a strong oxidizing agent. Hence it forms water, so it defeats the purpose of the reaction for which we have to prepare the hydrogen gas. Next one is the test for hydrogen. Next we shall discuss the test for hydrogen. Hydrogen gas produce pop sound when it burns. Test for hydrogen. Hydrogen gas produces pop sound when it burns. For example, if we take this is a test tube, inverter test tube, if we take the hydrogen gas in this test tube and here is some flame, it burns with a pop sound. It produces pop sound that indicates that the gas present in this test tube is hydrogen. And if the gas is air, it contains oxygen, and when we burn it, it would reburn or rekindle the burn fire. So there would be again flame, if because oxygen is a supporter of combustion. But if there is hydrogen gas, then it would produce pop sound. So this was the test of hydrogen. Next one is manufacture of hydrogen. Manufacture is always at a large scale. Manufacture of hydrogen is done by batch process. So manufacture is done by batch process. It consists of the following steps. First one is the coke, that is carbon, hot coke, reacts with steam at 1000 degrees Celsius. At a very high temperature, it produces carbon monoxide and hydrogen. This is known as water gas. As there is absorption of heat, so this reaction is endothermic reaction. In the next step, now we have obtained hydrogen gas in the first step, but there is water gas. Here is hydrogen. We have to eliminate this hydrogen from the CO. So in the next step, we take the water gas, that is carbon monoxide and hydrogen, and again it reacts with steam. So when it reacts with steam, here is the catalyst, ferric oxide, and the promoter here used is chromium oxide at a temperature of 450 Celsius. It produces carbon dioxide and hydrogen gas. Here in this reaction, heat is evolved, that is given out. So this reaction is exothermic in nature. Here water gas reacts with water, and the catalyst used is ferric oxide. Catalyst increases the rate of reaction, means it speeds up the reaction, and promoter speeds up the catalyst. Here promoter uses chromium oxide and temperature is 450 Celsius. Next point is third step, separation of carbon dioxide. Now we have obtained the hydrogen gas here. First we obtained the water gas in the batch process. Next we again reacted the water gas with the steam, and it gives us hydrogen as well as carbon dioxide, but we need only hydrogen gas. So we have to eliminate this carbon dioxide gas. So this can be done by step third, that is separation of carbon dioxide. This can be done either by passing carbon dioxide and hydrogen from the cold water at a pressure of 30 atmosphere, or it can also be done by reacting the carbon dioxide with caustic potash. What's the formula of caustic potash? That is KOH. So reacting caustic potash with carbon dioxide, we will get K2CO3 plus water vapors. So at the step 3, we remove the carbon dioxide from this one products. Now if there is some traces of carbon monoxide still left from this step, we remove it from the fourth step, that is by reacting it with ammonical copper chloride. So if there is any carbon monoxide left, it is removed at the last step, and again with water. So the product here formed is copper chloride, CO dot water vapors. So in this way these impurities are removed. First, in the third step, we remove the carbon monoxide, and if there is still some traces of carbon monoxide left, so that are removed at the fourth step by the addition of ammonium copper chloride. So this is all about your Bosch process. In the first step, we obtain the water gas. In the second step, we obtain the hydrogen, but there is some impurity, that is carbon dioxide, which is removed at the third step, and at the fourth step we remove the traces of carbon monoxide. So at the last, hydrogen gas is left behind. Next we shall discuss about oxidation and reduction. Oxidation and reduction. There are 5 concepts of oxidation and 5 concepts of reduction. First we shall discuss about oxidation. What is oxidation? In the electronic concept, here we shall discuss about oxidation, and here we shall discuss about reduction. In the electronic concept, the process in which an atom or an ion loses electron, then that process is known as oxidation. For example, zinc's valency is 2. So here if it loses 2 electron, it becomes 2 positive by the loss of 2 electrons. So here this reaction indicates the oxidation has occurred. Oxidation means loss of electrons. Here zinc loses 2 electrons, so here is 2 positive charge on zinc. Next point is, this is the main definition of oxidation according to electronic concept. So next one is addition of oxygen. Addition of oxygen is also known as oxidation. For example, here carbon plus oxygen, it gives us carbon dioxide. Here is addition of oxygen, so addition of oxygen means oxidation. Next one is addition of electronegative ion. Addition of electronegative ion. Like zinc plus 2 times HCl gives us zinc chloride and hydrogen gas. So here the electronegative ion is Cl. Cl attaches to zinc in this products. So there is addition of electronegative ion. So this reaction is, here what occurs? Oxidation has occurred on the zinc. There is addition of electronegative ion. Third is removal of hydrogen. So removal of hydrogen also means oxidation. Removal of hydrogen. You can consider the reaction hydrogen sulfide and chlorine. It gives us HCl and sulfur. So from the sulfur we have removed the hydrogen. So in this reaction there is removal of hydrogen. So sulfur hydroxide is oxidized to sulfur. This is oxidation. Next, the fourth step, that is removal of electropositive ion or element. Removal of electropositive. Consider the reaction 2Ki potassium iodide plus hydrogen peroxide. It gives potassium hydroxide and iodine. So there is removal of electropositive ion. What is electropositive ion? That is K. Here K is electropositive ion. It is removed and iodine is obtained. So this reaction, in this reaction, it is oxidized by the removal of electropositive ion. So this reaction is also, here oxidation has occurred. Now we shall discuss about reduction. In the reduction, we can say here is the loss of electron means oxidation, loss of electrons, but reduction is the gain of electrons. So for example, in the reduction you can consider the reaction copper 2 positive plus 2 electrons. So here is gain of 2 electrons, it would become copper. So there is gain of electrons, means in this reaction copper has reduced, there is a reduction occurred. And the first step is, next we can say removal of oxygen. Here is the addition of oxygen, here is removal of oxygen. If there is removal of oxygen, that means reduction has occurred. For example, copper oxide and hydrogen. Here products are copper and water. So there is a removal of oxygen and here copper oxide is reduced to copper. So in this reaction, reduction has occurred. Next one is, here was the addition of electronegative ion, here is removal of electronegative ion. Removal of electronegative ion. Consider the reaction ferric chloride and hydrogen sulfide. It gives us ferrous chloride. This is ferrous. 2 positive means ferrous chloride and 2 HCl and sulfur. So here is removal of electronegative ion. Because here is 1 Cl that is removed in the products, here is only 2 Cl. So there is removal of electronegative ion, that means reduction has occurred. Third point is, here is removal of oxygen, but here is gain of oxygen or addition of, here is addition of hydrogen. Addition of hydrogen. As there is removal of hydrogen, right here addition of hydrogen. Consider the reaction chlorine and hydrogen sulfide. It gives HCl and sulfur. So here hydrogen is removed from sulfur. So here in this reaction, hydrogen sulfide is reduced to sulfur. Here in this reaction, hydrogen is added to chlorine. Hydrogen is added to chlorine, so there is addition of hydrogen and this reaction is a reduction. So Cl2 is reduced to HCl by the addition of hydrogen. And the last point is, there was removal of electropositive ion. Here is addition of electropositive ion. Here is addition of electropositive ion. Consider the reaction 2HgCl2 SnCl2. It gives Hg2Cl2 SnCl4. So there is addition of electropositive ion. Here is mercury, it's only one atom here. Here it has 2 atoms. So here HgCl2 is reduced to Hg2Cl2 by the addition of electropositive ion. So this reaction is reduction. So there are 5 concepts of oxidation and reduction. One more thing, oxidation and reduction goes by side, and these reactions are known as a redox reaction. The reactions in which oxidation and reductions take place simultaneously. We shall discuss about this. If in any reaction there is oxidation occurred, then it means reduction has also occurred in that reaction. Consider the reaction copper oxide and hydrogen. it gives copper and water. So these type of reactions in which oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously, those reactions are known as redox reactions. So the reactions in which oxidation and reductions takes place simultaneously are known as redox reactions. Red means reduction, ox means oxidation. So by the name it is clear, redox reaction means the reaction in which oxidation and reduction occur simultaneously. Now consider this reaction, copper oxide, hydrogen, and it gives copper and water vapors. So here this is oxidizing agent, this is reducing agent, and there is loss of oxygen on the copper. So this reaction is, here copper is reduced in this reaction, it is reduced because there is loss of oxygen. Loss of oxygen means reduction, and here there is gain of oxygen. So here hydrogen is reduced, oxidized to water. So here oxidation has occurred. Oxidation means simply addition of oxygen. So with hydrogen there is addition of oxygen. So here hydrogen is oxidized, and who does the oxidation of hydrogen? That is copper oxide. So this is oxidizing agent. The substance that does the oxidation of other substance is oxidizing agent, and here copper oxide is reduced to copper, and who does the reduction of copper oxide? That is hydrogen. So it acts as reducing agent. Reducing agent is that one that does the reduction of other substance. So here reduction, it is reduced, and here oxidation has take place, and here reduction has take place. So this was all about your chapter, and it was all about reduction and oxidation reactions, that is redox reactions. Thank you.